Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, fourth canto, chapter 31. By the way, is the audio good?
Yes, Prabhuji, loud and clear.
Okay. Mhm. Okay. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपगतामह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सह गणललिता श्रीविशाख अन्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्ता कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Good morning. How are you all doing?
Fine, Prabhuji.
Good, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw some are quite busy, so just checking. Hope you are managing well, keeping well. Mm, I'm sharing my screen. Who would like to read first half of this chapter, like that? The 40, no, 31 verses, maybe we can read till 14. Who didn't read recently?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Who want to read? Suryadesh Prabhu, maybe can you read? Or
Yes, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah, the great Saint Maitreya continued. After that, Pracetas lived at home for thousands of years and developed perfect knowledge in spiritual consciousness. At last they remembered the blessings of Supreme Personality of Godhead and left home, putting their wife in charge of a perfect son. The Pracetas went to the seashore in the west, where the great liberated sage Jajali was residing. After perfecting the spiritual knowledge by which one becomes equal towards all living entities, the Prachetas became perfect in Krishna consciousness. After practicing the yogasanas or mystic yoga, the Prachetas managed to control their life, air, mind, words, and external vision. Thus, by the pranayama process, they were completely relieved of material attachment. By remaining perpendicular, they could concentrate their minds on the uppermost Brahman. While they were practicing this pranayama, the great sage Narada, who is worshipped both by demons and demigods, came to see them. As soon as the Prachetas saw the great sage Narada has appeared, they immediately got up even from their asanas. As required, they immediately offered obeisances and worshipped him. And when they saw that Narada Muni was properly seated, they began to ask him questions. All the Prachetas began to address the great sage Narada. O great sage, O Brahmana, we hope you met with no disturbances while coming here. It is due to our great fortune that we are now able to see you. By the traveling of the sun, people are relieved from the fear of darkness of night, a fear brought by thieves and rogues. Similarly, your traveling is like the sun's, for you drive away all kinds of fear. O Master, may we inform you that because of our being overly attached to our family affairs, we almost forgot the instructions we received from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. Dear Master, kindly enlighten us with the transcendental knowledge which may act as a torchlight by which we may cross the dark signs of material existence. Prabhuji, can you scroll down? Thank you. Um, the great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, being thus petitioned by the Prachetas, the supreme devotee Narada, who is always absorbed in thoughts of supreme personality of Godhead, began to reply. The great sage Narada said, when a living entity is born to engage in the devotional service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller, his birth, all his fruitive activities, his lifespan, his mind, and his words are all factually perfect. A civilized human being has three kinds of births. The first birth is a pure father and mother, and this birth is called birth by semen. The next birth takes place when one is initiated by spiritual master, and this birth is called Savitra. The third birth is called Yajnika. Takes place when one is given opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu. Despite the opportunities for attaining such births, even if one gets the lifespan of a demigod, if one does not actually engage in service of the Lord, everything is useless. Similarly, one's activities may be mundane or spiritual, but they are useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord. Without the devotional service, what is the meaning of severe austerities, the process of hearing, the power of speech, the power of mental speculation, elevated intelligence, strength, and power of the senses? Prabhuji, can you scroll down, please? Yeah, thank you. Transcendental practices that do not ultimately help one realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead are useless. Be they mystic yoga practices, the analytical study of matter, severe austerity, the acceptance of samyasa, or the study of Vedic literature. All these may be very important aspects of spiritual advancement, but useless. But unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, all these processes are useless. Factually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, yajna, yoga, and bhakti, is Supreme Personality of Godhead. As pouring water on the foot of a tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else, and as supplying food to stomach enlivens the senses and limbs of the body, simply worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service automatically satisfies the demigods who are parts of the Supreme Personality. During the rainy season,
Thank you.
water is generated from the sun, and
Right.
in due course of time, during the summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Similarly, all the activities, moving and inert, are generated from the earth, and again, after some time, they all return to the earth as dust. Similarly, everything emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in due course of time, everything enters into Him again. Shall we pause here, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, we can pause there. Yeah, thank you very much for reading such a nice part of Bhagavatam on a Saturday morning. How did you find?
It was very nice, Prabhuji. Very good.
Hmm. How nice if we every day read like that. Only
Yes.
thing is, we are carried away by so many things. That's why at least one day a week can awaken us. Uh, that's why some say that a strong weekend spiritual program keeps us safe for the rest of the week, at least. Okay, yeah. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayana Namaskritcham Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhiraye, Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavat Uttama Shage Bhaktir Bhavdinashtaki, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya Cha, Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nityam Bhagavata Seva is serving Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Yeah, it is said that one can read Bhagavatam at least one verse a day. But yeah, in case if we are not able to do, at least through this process of Saturday Bhagavatam recitation, you're able to read. Yeah, how many verses you read? 15 verses. So covered. Mm. 2 verses per day. Not like, okay, we have covered for 2 weeks and we don't have to come next week. Okay, so let's start. In the fourth canto, we are talking. We are discussing the last chapter, and this chapter is coming after the activities of Pracetas. And before that, we discussed how King Prajina Parishit attained perfection under the instructions of Narada Muni. And again, in the chapter 31, we see that Prachetas again they get instructions from Narad Muni. In between, what happened is that Narad Muni is so great, mm, that he, uh, I think a few verses later will come. But what happened is Lord Shiva, who has instructed Rudra Gita to to Prachetas, they have taken it as their life, and they have performed their austerity, Rupa, and after that, they did attain the darshan of the Lord. Uh, and then Prachetas, they have just asked only for one benediction. If you remember, that's in previous chapter, which says, uh, we would like to be blessed with hearing of your uh, glories, life after life, in association of devotees. So this is what they asked, life after life. As long as we wander in this human form of life, in this world, because of our actions, yeah, because of our actions, whatever we do, and because there is a huge chance of an infection that is in the material world. What is that? An infection of duality. And when one is caught up in the infection of duality, what may happen because of that? That the eyes are blind or even blurry. Just imagine, yeah, um, sometimes what may happen is our vision is covered, and we can't see. We may think that I'm appreciating the colors that I'm seeing, I'm able to sense, I'm able to correlate, but the real sharpness of the vision is blunt. So this is called nescience. When the nescience is there, we can't see the real signs. What is the real sign? The science is the science of Godhead. So Pracetas, when they had darshan of Lord Vishnu, after they have pleased him with the prayers, they are asking benediction. May we always hear to your glories in the association of devotees. Yavat te mayaya sprishta brahmama iha karma bhi tavad bhavat prasanganam sangasya no bhave bhave. Life after life. Hmm. Mm. And then pure devotees association is the topmost. Even a moment's association. Tulayama lavenapi na swargam naipanur bhavam. It says even a moment's association of pure devotee cannot be compared to be to being transferred to the heavenly planets or even merging into Brahmajyoti. Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashishi. Uh, so this is indeed the best prayers. Why we can see that in the coming chapter that Suryatesh Prabhu read. Uh, why? Because we have four defects. As a human, we have four defects. And to what are these four defects? Yeah, to be illusioned, having cheating propensity, imperfect senses. What is the fourth one? Cheating propensity.
Committing mistakes.
Huh?
Committing mistakes.
Yeah, committing
Illusion.
mistakes. Yeah, these are four defects. And what are the four effects of Krishna Katha? Yeah, this is what we hear from Pracetas. They say, uh, by hearing to Krishna Katha, there is no hankering. When there's no hankering, even if our senses are defect, what is the problem? No problem, because senses are not even engaging. There is no hankering, there is no envy, there is no fear, and yatra Narayana Sakshat. Narayana is personally present. When Krishna Katha is going on, when Narayana is personally present, what interest do we have in anything else? Nothing. Our focus refines to that point to always be in his association. Yeah, just like we can see every darshan that the Lord has given. Yeah, mesmerized every devotee that they wanted to have his darshan forever. Of course, it's not that okay. Now the Lord is saying, "Hey, I have a great popularity. I have a person who is always want to see me, so I'm great. Let me continue." No, Lord is also detached in a way that shows his greatness. That though he is praised with such a great awe and reverence and with great devotion and glorification, yeah, he blesses and then moves on. So so what Prachetas asked was that first of all, may we engage in Krishna Katha in the association of devotees life after life. Why? Because it has the potency that is not attainable by anyone, even by going to heavenly planets or by attaining liberation. These are nothing. What is the reason? Because Krishna Katha makes one having no hankering, become free from envy and become fearless, nirbhaya, and uh, have Narayana, always a presence of Narayan when Krishna Katha is going on. So, yeah, we can see this is what devotees, Prajvakacharyas, they are traveling. The few devotees of you travel and purify every holy place. Thus, they please those who are afraid of material existence. So, a devotee is very compassionate. A devotee, as part of his own devotional life, he may engage himself in a holy place. But no, wherever he goes, that place becomes holy. Why? Because they are surcharged by the presence of Lord, because they are doing Krishna Katha wherever they go. They glorify Kirtanam, they do the glorification of the Lord. And here it says, that's how they were fortunate to have the darshan of Lord Shiva. By a moment's association of Lord Shiva, we attained you. Uh, so all our assets are offered for your satisfaction. Now, once when we get this when we realize that the Lord's grace is flowing in, we should understand that we should not misuse because um, the purpose of us becoming empowered is not because of our greatness, but the greatness of the Lord. And when we are empowered, yeah, we have to uh, use this power properly, engage ourselves, the empowered energy in the right way, right channel, in the right spirits. And uh, and in that way, Prachetas have offered their prayers and asked for benediction, for which the Lord has given, and then the Lord had yeah left. And then afterwards, when Prachetas came out, they saw the whole forest was no more like before. It was totally covered with trees. They were wanted to burn, and Lord Brahma came to protect. And then he has given Marisha, Marisha, the daughter of the trees. Yeah. Um, in as that Prachetas marry her, and after this, what happened is um, um, it is also Lord Brahma says that they will have a child, mm, have a child who is none other than Daksha, and Daksha is so expert that he has uh, uh, been chosen by Lord Brahma as the head of all Prajapatis. Not only that he's expert, not only he's given the task of progeneration, etc., but he was also given the head because of his great expertise. Hmm. So there where we are, and yeah, so in this chapter we are discussing something about what happened afterwards. Narad Muni is the great sage Maitreya continued. After that, Prachetas lived at home for thousands of years and developed perfect knowledge in spiritual consciousness. And at that, at last, they remembered the blessings of the Supreme Person of Godhead and left home, putting their wife in charge of a perfect son. Yeah, I see this son is Daksha. They begot one son, and then they moved on. Um, Prabhupada writes in the purport, Prachetas have finished their penance. They were blessed with the Lord Darshan. The Lord blessed them by telling them after finishing their family life, they would return home back to Godhead in due course of time. So, after finishing their family life, which lasted thousands of years according to the calculation of demigods, Prachetas decided to leave home, uh, putting their wife in charge of the son, name called Daksha. And this process is a Vedic process. This is Vedic civilization. This is the process of Vedic civilization. In the beginning, one is brahmachari, and as a brahmachari, he's thoroughly trained how to be renounced, how to be careful, how to be careful, austerous in his dealings with his family and friends. Uh, Prabhupada also explains that, yeah, as a brahmachari, what does it mean? Uh, that one is not let loose with other genders, um, but he is properly, thoroughly trained. A brahmachari student is never allowed to mingle with women and learn from the beginning of life about sex enjoyment. Uh, the but what happened in the modern society is we are not following this properly. Yeah, and we ourselves can know what are the effects of it because we are seeing when a system fails. uh, it may take a while, but it will manifest. Just like fire, we may see it might be initially a spark, but that spark will burn the whole house. So that letting it loose mm, has caused uh, life of what is it called? Prabhupada writes, most of the children are Varna Shankara, meaning born of undesirable fathers and mothers. Why? Because neither mothers are trained thoroughly, neither fathers are trained thoroughly, Consequently, the whole world is in chaos. Actually, human civilization should be based on Vedic principles. This means that in the beginning of life, boys and girls should undergo penances and austerities. When they are grown, they should get married, live for some time at home and beget child. When children are grown up, the man should leave home and search for Krishna consciousness. In this way, one can make one's life perfect by going home to the kingdom of God. Uh, in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioned. And this is what also Prachina Parishad did, isn't it? Of course, Prachina Parishad was a successful person in a way that he performed yajnas. Uh, and in that way, he was making a very pious life. He was maintaining a pious life. And but Narad Muni intervention has turned his way towards the ultimate goal of life. That is what is a blessing. Whatever may happen, whether we can understand the science of Godhead, whether we are able to follow or not, even if a person is not able to do anything, but if he is under the glance of a saintly person, then his life turns uh, towards advancement for good. We can see how Prachina Parishad has advanced. We can see how when Lord Shiva blessed Pracetas with the Rudra Gita, that Pracetas could have the darshan of the Lord and could have benediction from him. And here we see that in due course of time, after leading a very successful Grihastha life, they renounce by handing over everything to Daksha. Giving up a comfortable home is absolutely necessary for human beings. Why? Prahlad Maharaj is saying what? Hitvatma pakam graham andakupam. Andakupam is very, very dark. Hmm? Like this Hitvatma patam. This graham is such a mm, place where, yeah, though we may have so many facilities to light it up, but still, because of all these lightings, we are not able to see the Lord. So graham can be like a dark pit or a well. Compared like that. The home is considered to be a dark well covered by grass, and if one falls within this well, he simply dies without anyone's caring. So this is what, yeah, if one takes shelter of the home, yeah, we know that, okay, he has took shelter. No one, yeah, in those days at least, we see sadhus used to come home door to door and they used to come and preach, or, yeah, this was the very time old tradition, culture. Nowadays, if a Brahmana is coming home, we think that he is coming to beg money or he is coming to take away our, uh, I don't know what. We have so many doubts, and we even not encouraging a saintly person when he comes our home. We don't even know if person is saint. That's why it's better not to allow. So we have come to that level. We are not able to uh, recognize who is a true sadhu. Why? Because we have lost the science interest. We have uh, engrossed in the walls, inside the walls of the home. Thus, the home is considered a dark well. One should therefore not be too much attached to family life, for it will spoil one's development of Krishna consciousness. Dikshita Brahmashastreena Sarvabhutatma Medasa Pratityam Dishi Velayam Siddho Abhut Yatra Jalajihi. So after doing that, Prachetas went to the seashore in the west, where the great liberated sage Jajali was residing. After perfecting the spiritual knowledge by which one becomes equal towards all living entities, Prachetas became perfect in Krishna consciousness. This is again a very important verse which can help us understand that the word Brahma Shastra means cultivation of spiritual knowledge. We won't, we don't want to go for any excursions. Excursions is just going out for some pleasure. We want to go for a spiritual excursion, which means wherever we are going, how can we absorb ourselves in thoughts of Krishna? Huh? Uh, Actually, both the Vedas and severe austerity are known as Brahma. Brahma also means absolute truth. One has to cultivate the knowledge of absolute truth by pursuing the studies of Vedas and undergoing severe austerities and penances. Prachetas properly executed this function and consequently become equal to all the living entities. This is a practical application of what Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. Mad bhaktim labate param. So, in that state where one is seeing everyone equal, in that state he attends pure devotional service unto me. And also equality means vidya vinaya sampanne, to see who is really intelligent, who is seeing the brahmanas or gavi brahmane gavi hastini shuni chaiva svapake cha pandita samadarshina. Pandita means one who is seeing whether one is virtue of true knowledge and sees equal vision in learned brahmanas. Gavi, Hastini, Gavi is cow, Hastini, elephant, Sunichi, a dog, and Cha Paka, Cha Swapake, one who eats even a dog eater. Pandita is seeing equal because everyone is equal. How? Because everyone is spirit. It's the bodies are different, but the spirit is same. So that's the stage of Prachetas. So they approached a sage Jabali. Jabali was already liberated soul. He's a mukta. So here we understand that one desiring perfection or liberation should associate with a person who is already liberated. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Upadeshanti te jnanam. Jnaninas tattvadarshina. Tattvadarshina means we should approach a person who has already seen the truth, right? Because he can impart it as it is. We cannot go to someone who is speculating because they don't know. We can't go to someone who himself is like us, struggling to know what is the uh, um, absolute truth. तान निर्जिता प्राण मनो वाचो दृशो जितासनान शांत समान विग्रहान परे मले ब्रह्मणि योजितात्मनः सुरासुरेद्यो ददृशे स्म नारद. After practicing the yogasana for mystic yoga, the Prachetas managed to control their life, air, mind, words, and external vision. Thus, by pranayam process, they were completely relieved of material attachment. By remaining perpendicular, they could concentrate their mind on the uppermost Brahman. While they were practicing this pranayam, the great sage Narada, who is worshipped both by demons and by demigods, came to see them. So I don't know what is that position or what is posture of perpendicular to, but Prachetas attained perfection in that mystic yoga. And when they approached Jajali Muni, and at that place, Narad Muni came. We can see, I think Narad Muni, I don't know how many, how is it the same Narad Muni who is able to go wherever needed, or is he expanding? Yeah, just like Lord expands, maybe the devotees also have this expanding capacity. I mean, of course, speculation, I don't want to, and at the same time, I want to share that how wonderful it is that Nazman is ever eager to rescue. It's just like you see how this, what do you call this? Note, uh, fire engines, no? What is it called? Fire bear, yeah, fire ambulance. Yeah, as soon as the house caught on fire, they run. So, yeah, here, Narad Muni is also seeing, okay, there's a person who is just turning to the Lord, or a person is so much engrossed in, so big, depending on what What is that he's struggling with? What does he need? Narad Muni is the spiritual rescuer, so that he's rescuing the jivas. Such a great service, isn't it? Otherwise, we would just go on and on with our ongoing uh, comforting life. The life is not comfortable, but we are just trying to make it comfortable. So we are trying to comfort, or if even if there is no comfort, we start adjusting things that this is comfort. So it's all comfort-driven life. Huh? And when these comforts are not the real comforts, the right thing is to see, to have the darshan of the Lord. We need someone who can help us. And Narad Muni, huh? And all the representatives of Narad Muni are very, very precious in our life. We may find it very difficult. Okay, if they come, what to do? So many difficulties. But we understand that if they come, our life is blessed. So Narad Muni, uh, Narad Muni is very special. Why? Because he is not just going to devotees' house; he is also going to the houses of demons. We know that Narad Muni went to Kamsa to intensify his cruelty, that so that the Lord can come soon. It's Narad Muni who goes to Hiranyakashipu to yeah, inspire him to uh, to ask Prahlad Maharaj, hey, if Prahlad is so confident, then ask him, your enemy, he can show your enemy. Hmm? What does that mean? Showing us our enemy. So when we have some devotees at home, the devotees can impart us, have the darshan, because otherwise, we are covered and we are thinking we are great. Yeah, Hiranyakashipu, like him, we also are so much accustomed to comfort. We are accustomed to pride, prestige, and all these things. Uh, and when a devotee at home, uh, he is surcharged with a devotional life, he can show us the Lord. Yeah. So in that way, Narad Muni is traveling not only, so he's selfless and also he's taking life risks. Isn't it that Narad Muni, when he went to um, in the forest, when Ravana asked him to give all the powers, when Narad Muni said, "You can't demand it," uh, Ravana was thinking that, "Hey, who is this? How can he say that? Let me take." He took his sword and he wanted to kill Narada Muni. But when he spared his sword, he couldn't even touch Narada Muni. Though the sword went like uh, a full circle, but he couldn't even touch Narada Muni. Then he understood the power of uh, Devarshi Narada. He is not ordinary. He is surcharged with the blessings or the energy of worshipping the Lord always. So in this verse, the word para amale are significant. The realization of Brahman is experienced. Okay, that is more detail. We can. The great sage Narada travels everywhere. He goes to the demons and the demigods and is equally respected. He is consequently described here as Sura Asuredya, worshipped by Aradhya, worshipping Sura Asuredya, worshipped by Sura and Asuras. Uh, for Narad Muni, the door of every house is open. It is not that he is demanding to get in. No, as soon as Narad Muni is coming, whoever, wherever, everyone welcome him. This is what one should do. We shouldn't become demonic, but even if we have demonic spirits, natures, we should always welcome sadhus at our home. Not even welcome, we can invite sadhus at our home. It is difficult, yeah. We have to move from our comfort zone. But if we are accommodating chance, then we shouldn't miss it. Narada is considered one of the greatest demigods, of course, and the word Devarshi means the saintly person among the demigods. But not even demons envy Narad Muni. Therefore, he is equally worshipped both by demons and demigods. A perfect Vaishnava's position should be like Narad Muni, completely independent and unbiased. Tam agatam ta उत्थाय प्रणिपत्याभिनन्द्य च पूजयित्वा यथा देशं सुखासीनम् अथा ब्रूम्. So they, as required, they immediately offered obeisances and worshipped him. And when they saw that Narad Muni was properly seated, they began to ask questions. Uh, uh, this is what we can see. It is significant that all the Prachetas were engaged in practicing yoga to concentrate their mind on the Supreme Lord. प्रचेता उवाच स्वागतं ते सुरासे अध्या दिष्टानो दर्शनं गता तव चक्र सॉरी शंकर मननं ब्रह्मन् अभयाय यथा रवे. All the Prachetas began to address the sage. They said, "Oh Brahmana, we hope you met with no disturbances while coming here. It is due to our great fortune that we are able to see you." Hmm. Hmm. How the example given is by the traveling of the sun, people are relieved of fear of darkness, of night, right? Similarly, your traveling is like suns for you drive away all kinds of fear. This is great quality. What happens? Yeah, we want Udaya, we want light in our life. Hmm? Um, Hmm, and why? Because we are scared of darkness. That's why sometimes, yeah, when we are walking through the woods and then it is becoming more and more dark, we are scared. What kind of sounds are these? Where am I? What may come up? Uh, and so many. Just we are hoping for sun to come so that um, Timira, Andhasya, whatever that darkness is there, that will be taken away by this light. Similarly, spiritual master, Ajnana Timirandhasya, the ignorance that is so thick, Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakya, they are bringing the light of knowledge of torch. Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I'm offering. So here, what Prachetas are doing, they are offering their obeisances to the spiritual master. Um, uh, Narad Muni or his representatives. When one meets Narada or his representatives, uh, one is freed from all anxiety brought about by ignorance. यदादिष्ट भगवता शिवेनाधोक्षजेन च तद्ग्रहेषु प्रसक्तानां प्रायशः क्षपितं प्रभो. Shapitam means to forget. What they are saying to Narad Muni is very nice. I don't know how uh, much true is there in that. Maybe because of their humility, they are saying that, "Oh Master, may we inform you that because of our being overly attached to family affairs, we almost forgot the instructions we received from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu." So first, Rudra Gita means Lord Shiva has instructed, and Lord Vishnu afterwards also came. Yeah, but because we were so many thousands of years living at home, that's why we forgot everything. Is it a surprise? At least for us, it's not a surprise. Yeah, today we are hearing Bhagavatam, and tomorrow we may forget. Why? Because we are so much absorbed in our mundane vishaya. We may think, no, 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 I am very pious. No, I am not. I'm not that like other people who are irresponsible. No, I'm very pious. But then, are we remembering the Lord? Uh, no, no. Whenever I'm getting time, otherwise I'm so busy. I'm getting little time. That is maybe a minute a day. Hmm. So much we are engrossed. So here. Prajatas are saying, hey, we have got so much attached to our life that literally we forgot everything. So our spiritual advancement is also affected the more we are attached at our home. The more and more we are attached, the more and more time it will take, isn't it? Huh? Remaining in the family life is like is a kind of concession for sense enjoyment. One should know that sense enjoyment is not required, but one has to accept sense enjoyment in as much as one has to live. Huh? The question comes that, okay, what should we do? After all, grahastha life, uh, we have to arrange all the comforts for the guests who come, when we invite them, and all the facilities should be top class. So what happens is we are arranging everything for the guests. But what may happen is when the guests they come only maybe once a while, that too, we don't even we are no more encouraging uninvited guests also, right? The old tradition was, it's not that someone has to say, hey, I am coming, are you there? Yeah. Now someone has to really ask, and after asking, the host is deciding whether he can host or not, because he may have 10 more things to do before he can do something else. So in this way, what happens is that um, the life, all the comforts, initially we are thinking these are all comforts for guests, but actually we use it for ourselves. And when we are caught up in that comfort, we forget the Lord. The more and more we are entangling ourselves, then we won't have the space for sadhus in our life. Hmm. Not a, I mean, no space for sadhus at home means no space for sadhus in our life. So one should not simply use his senses for sense gratification. Rather, the senses should be employed just as much as required for maintaining the body and soul together. Uh, Rupa Goswami is saying, Anashaktasya Vishayan Yatartham Upayunjate. One should not be attached to sense objects. Uh, Here, all Prachetas, what they said is, if one wishes to enjoy senses more than required, he becomes attached to family life, which means bondage. They are saying, hey, we have caught up in this bondage, so please, please come, please help us. Uh, and Prabhupada writes in the end, all the Prachetas admitted their fault in remaining in the household life. Yeah. How can I say that? Oh, no, no, but that's the fact. Everyone knows. Yeah, um, we may understand that this comes with maturity, taking self-responsibility for our advancement or our downfall. Tanna pradyota yadhyatma jnanam tatvartha darshanam yenagnasa tarishyamo dushtaram bhavasagaram. Oh Lord, my dear Master, kindly enlighten us in the transcendental knowledge which may act as a torchlight by which we may cross Bhavasagaram, the ocean of nescience. Mm. So, Prachetas, they were not interested in any other material benefit because they have sufficiently enjoyed, and not they want fulfillment of their material desires. They were simply interested in crossing the ocean of nescience because, yeah, there is also the Lord. When He gives the darshan, He says, "You will, you once you get frustrated in your household, then definitely you will attain perfection, and you come back to me." So one should not bother a saintly person to get blessings for material enjoyment. Generally, householders receive saintly persons to get their blessings, but their real aim is to become happy in the material world. Asking such material benedictions is not recommended in Shastras. So Maitreya Uvacha iti prachetasam prishto requested, asked Bhagavan Narada, Bhagavan Narado Munihi Bhagavati Uttama Shloka Avistatma Bravin Nripan. So here Narad Muni is addressed as Bhagavan. Narad Muni is addressed as Bhagavan is a very interesting. Mm, just because Narad Muni is addressed Bhagavan, we can address everyone as Bhagavan. No, Narad Muni is addressed Bhagavan because Narada is always absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. Because the devotee is always absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord, that's why the Lord resides in the devotee. And because the Lord is inside the devotee, so the devotee also is becoming, yeah, possesses what the Lord possesses. Just Bhagavan means what? All opulences. So a devotee is all opulent. Uh, the devotee is all opulent. He is renunciant. He is all wealthy. He has all opulences. So what is happening? Because he is mm, when a person possesses Bhagavan within his heart, he is also sometimes called Bhagavan. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, Sakshar Dharitvena Samasta Shastra. In every Shastra, the spiritual master is accepted directly as the Supreme Person of Godhead. This does not mean that spiritual master or a saintly person like Narada has actually become the Supreme Person of Godhead. But he is accepted in this way because he possesses the Lord within his heart constantly. However, we cannot tolerate when a rascal or impostor is called Bhagavan. One must possess either all opulences, either one let one become all rich, let one really become have all the six opulences, then we call him Bhagavan, or uh, Bhagavan who possesses all the opulences. It is not that one who is not having them we call Bhagavan, but we call one who really has that. It is possible only for the devotees who have the Lord in their heart and next the Lord Himself. Narada Uvacha Tadjanmatani karmani tad ayuh tan manovacha nanam yena hi vishwatma sevyate harir ishvara. Hmm. So, when a living entity is born to engage in devotional service of the Lord, who is the supreme controller, his birth, all his spiritual activities, his lifespan, his mind, and his words are all factually perfect. Hmm. That's how, whether one is Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, or whatever, everyone has some religious instructions. A real religion, however, means becoming God conscious. If one is becoming God conscious, Mm, yeah, one is reading Bible very seriously, but if he is eating meat, so he is not able to follow the principles of Bible. If one is following, one is religiously reading Quran and just following as whatever is mentioned word to word, and then he is causing disasters, then his word to word understanding is not right. He needs proper understanding because no scripture will advise to be cruel to others. Hmm. No religion will force someone to mm, rub one's own opinions. Mm. So all religions say at least a common principle is to be very compassionate to living beings, to fellow beings, to be very sattvic. The activity is successful if its result is serving the Lord. So this should be the goal. If one is serving the Lord, the senses are worth possessing when engaged in the service of the Lord. Actually, devotional service means engaging the senses. At the present moment, our senses are not purified. Therefore, our senses are engaged in the service of society, friend, love, politics, sociology, and so on. However, when the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, one attains bhakti. When one devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Lord, he said that all his desires were fulfilled. He said, Today everything is auspicious. Today my birthplace and neighborhood are completely glorified because today my senses, from my eyes down to the toes, are fortunate. So this is what happens. A devotee finds, uh, a devotee appreciates the blessings of the Lord. And then he's saying, Narad Muni is saying, Kim Janmabis Tribir Veha Shaukra Savitra Yagnakaihe Karmabhir Ya Trayi Proktaihe Pumsopi Vibhuda Yusha. Yeah. A civilized human being has three kinds of birth. Civilized human. Yeah, we are talking about civilized human. We are talking about Arya. We call ourselves Arya. Then we should understand that we are civilized. But how? We see that the first birth is by the pure father and mother. Huh? Pure father and mother. Yeah. Okay. we take it as it is, and we say, okay, the process is that this birth is called birth by semen. Hmm? Uh, Shaukra, we know Shukra. I don't know if you may have heard in Ayurveda there is this word Ojas and Shukra. These are the um, gradient ingredients for progeny. So the semen, and then the next birth takes place when one is initiated by the spiritual master, and this process is called Savitra. And In this process, what happens is a spiritual master is initiating at the time of Upanayana. And this birth is called Savitra. The third birth is Yagnika. It takes place when one is given the opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu. Despite the opportunities for attaining such births, even if one gets the lifespan of a demigod, if he does not does not engage in the service of the Lord, everything is useless. Similarly, one's activities may be mundane or spiritual, but they are useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord. So, if we are leading a civilized lifestyle, then samskaras have a very important role to play in our life. Sanskar starts, the first one being Garbhadhan Sanskar is not to be um um thought it's impractical. It's not, no, it's very much important, not so that then progeny is right. And then one, after gradual um, guidance during brahmachari life, then he is, how is he getting in? He is getting a spiritual master. He is getting the opportunity according to Pancharatra system. However, even though everyone is a Shudra due to absence of Garbhadhan Sanskar, if a person has a bit of little tendency to become Krishna conscious, he should be given the chance to elevate himself to the transcendental platform. Our Krishna consciousness movement adopts this Pancharatric Vidhi, as advised by Sri Sanatana Goswami. What is that? Yatha Kanchanatam Yati Kamashyam, Kamshyam Rasa Vidhanata Tatha Diksha Vidhanena Dijatma Jayate Nunam. How, just like a bell meter, when it comes in contact with mercury, becomes gold. Similarly, when a Shudra comes in contact uh, with initiation process, then he becomes a Dvija. So thus, if one is initiated by a proper person, he can be accepted as twice born immediately. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we therefore offer the students his first initiation and allow him to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly and following regulative principles, one becomes qualified to be initiated into a Brahmana. Because unless one is qualified Brahmana, he cannot be allowed to worship Lord Vishnu. This is called Yagnika Janma. In our Krishna consciousness society, unless one is twice initiated, or twice born also, first by chanting the Hare Krishna and second by Gayatri Mantra, he is not allowed to enter the kitchen or deity room to execute duties. However, when one is elevated to the platform on which he can worship the deity, his previous birth doesn't matter. Chandalopi dvija shreshto hari bhakti parayana hari bhakti vihinascha dvijopi swapa ja swapacha swapachadhama. Even if one is born in the family of Chandala, if one engages in devotional service of the Lord, he becomes the best of Brahmanas. But even a Brahmana who is devoid of devotional service is on the level of lowest dog eater. So, if a person is advanced in devotional service, it doesn't matter whether he was a Chandal in his life or born in a Chandal family. He becomes purified. Prahlad Maharaj says, Viprad Dvishad Guna Yathad Aravinda Nabha Vadaravinda Mukhach Chwapacham Vasishtam. Varishtam. Even if one is a Brahmana and is qualified with all Brahmanical qualifications, he is considered degraded if he is averse to worshipping the Lord. That is what defines if one is advanced or not. One may think, no, no, I am rich now. Why do I need Lord? Uh, a person can be Kshatriya, a person can be a Vaishya, a person can be a Brahmana, but if he is not engaging in the service of the Lord, if he thinks, today we have so many scholars, if you see in India, we have so many scholars, they are expert, but they claim themselves they could be great Brahmanas, but what is that if they are not practicing devotional life? Hmm. There are no more Brahmanas. One can have a title called Chaturvedi, one may have a Dvivedi, uh, one may have so many uh, great ancestral last names, Goswamis and all these things, or Tirthas or Tirthankars and all these things. Doesn't matter if he's not engaging in uh, protecting the heritage of his family and engaging himself in devotional service. Therefore, Narad Muni says, Yasya yal lakshanam proktam pumso varnabhi vyanjakam yad anyatrapi drisheto tat tenaiva vinirdeshet. It says, it is not a fact that because one is born in a Brahmin family, he is automatically a Brahmana. He has a better chance to become a Brahmana. But unless he meets all the Brahminical qualifications, he cannot be accepted as Brahman. Just like if a son is born in a doctor family, he doesn't become a doctor. He doesn't become a Vaidya. He doesn't become a Kaviraj automatically. He has to read, he has to qualify. Of course, he has better chances because he is in the environment where these things can naturally be understood, easily understood, but still he has to master them. Hmm. So otherwise he has a better chance to become a Brahman, but unless he meets all the Brahmanical qualifications, he cannot be accepted as Brahmana. On the other hand, if the Brahmanical qualifications are found in a person of Shudra, he should immediately be accepted as a Brahmana. This is what is happening in today's society where the Shudras are challenging the other classes of men, isn't it? Huh? What is so great when a Brahmana is getting 100 out of 100 and also Shudra is getting 100 out of 100? I don't know. Huh? Isn't it? Is then the child who is getting 100 out of 100, though he is born in Shudra family, he should get equal facilities, he should be equally recognized, but that's not happening. Why? Because our identity of all this Varnashrama is based on birth, but rather it should be based on qualifications, and these qualifications are hard earned, it's not given. To substantiate this, there are many quotations from Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, uh, Bharadwaja, Samhita, and Pancharatra, as well as many other scriptures. Uh, yeah, Shrutena tapasa vakim vachobhishchitta vrittabhihi buddhya vakim nipunaya balanendriya radhasa. What is happening? Without devotional service, what is the meaning of severe austerities? The process of hearing, the power of speech, the power of mental speculation, elevated intelligence, strength, and the power of senses, all these are waste. Narad Muni is saying. And in Mundaka Upanishad, there is this Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Na Medasa Na Bahuna Shrutena Yam Evaisha Vrinute Tena Labhyas तस्यैव आत्मा विवृणुत विवृ sorry विवृणु विवृणु ते tanum swam. Our relationship with the Supreme Lord is never advanced by simple study of Vedas. There are many Mayavad sannyasis fully engaged in studying Vedas, Vedanta Sutras, and Upanishads. But unfortunately, they cannot grasp the real essence of knowledge. In other words, they do not know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What then is the use of studying all the Vedas if one cannot grasp the essence of Vedas? What is the essence of Vedas? Krishna. Vedescha sarvam ahameva vedya. Vedantakrit veda Vedantakrit vedavit chaivaham. Krishna is saying, I am all the Vedas, the purpose is to know me as I am. Hmm. Otherwise, what is the purpose? Uh, Sometimes we may see that okay, there are some experts who can recite shlokas out of their mind, not one, two, but maybe they can read the whole book. Uh, they may be expert in pronouncing each and every syllable, because yeah, that's what they have mastered from their childhood. But if we do not know the essence of it, is what is to actually worship the Lord with our whole heart and soul. If that is not the understanding after expertly mugging up, it is just like a parrot. A parrot cannot become a realized because it's uttering every word as it is. No. It is that one should understand the essence of it is to engage in service of the Lord. Then that is perfection of getting all that. There are many religious systems within the penance, within wherein penances and austerities are greatly stressed, but at the end, no one understands Krishna. Uh, there is therefore no point in such penances. Tapasya is useless. Yeah. No. I have a, what do you call this? I have a vrata every Wednesday. I have a vrata every Thursday. I have fasting, and that too, I create my own style of fasting because no, I don't know, but I have the feeling. I have the feeling that I want to do something. That is tapasya. I want to take austerity, but for what? To get more close to the Lord. Otherwise, what is the purpose of fasting? Yeah, there is a trend, that came saying, "Hey, don't fast, because after all, uh, um, you're not uh, asked to fast." Hmm. Why? Because we are taking the fasting in the spirit of only not eating or not or discomforting ourselves, torturing our body, our mind. That's why it's not recommended. But if when we do all these things in remembering the Lord, then it is fully authentic. So the process of tapasya is definitely there in our life. But if we don't understand the purpose of it, the spirit of it, then tapasya is no more encouraged, obviously. So tapasya. If one has actually approached the Supreme Lord, he does not need to undergo the severe austerities. This is another thing, isn't it? If one is, we can say, hey, how come that he has become fat, or he is out of a regular diet regime? Yeah, but the good thing is he is absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord, and he doesn't uh, um have to go through all these purificatory processes or discipline, because he is at that stage where, yeah, when Srila Prabhupada health was not the best in best spirits there at that time, when Prabhupada was asking, give me fried, his when his digestion power was not best, yes, give me fried brinjal. Yeah, you may think, oh, what kind of sadhu he is? No. For him, he is completely day in, day out absorbed in the service of the Lord, in writing, translating, um, in speaking, instructing so many services. For him, this will be taken care by the Lord. Uh, So therefore, there is no point in, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is understood through the process of devotional service. In the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, devotional service is explained as Raja Guhyam, the king of all confidential knowledge. There are many good reciters of Vedic literatures, and they recite works such as Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Bhagavad Gita. Recently, I came across that mentioned that this one of the rare person who has read all, who has spoken or read, I don't know, all the 18 Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita. And of course, he's religious and he's well known, because there's a reason he's called on TV to speak. Yeah. But the teaching should be very, very carefully spread, or the message should be very careful. That should inspire not how one can relieve his knee pain, how one can relieve his headache, how to become free from you know, what is this Shani effects of the grahas? No, no. One should teach. The purpose of all this is to understand what that one should surrender to Krishna. One should worship Krishna. One should advance in Krishna consciousness. If that is said, it's all counted, all good, all glory. Uh, so there are many sharply intelligent people in this material world, and they discover so many things for sense gratification. They also analytically study all material elements, but despite their expert knowledge and expert scientific analysis of the whole cosmic manifestation, their endeavors are useless because they cannot understand the Supreme Lord. So, anyway, I have maybe 10 minutes more. I can cover a couple of verses. Kim va yogena sankhena nyasa swadhyayor api kim ya sorry kim va shreyobhir anyascha na yatratma pradoharihi. Yeah, we can see that there is Nyasa means accepting sannyas, and there is Sankhya, the study of Sankhya philosophy. One is becoming also a yogi, isn't it? By analytical study, one can become a yogi by study of Vedic literature. Transcendental practices that do not ultimately help one realize the Supreme Lord are useless. Be they mystic yoga practices, analytical study of matter, severe austerities, Shreyobhir by auspicious activities, um, or even accepting sannyas or the study of Vedic literature. All these may be very important aspects of spiritual advancement, but unless one understands the Supreme Lord, Hari, all these processes are useless. Hmm. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Bhakti vina kevala jnane mukti nahi hai. Bhakti sadhana kare yai prapta brahma laya. Which means impersonalists do not take to devotional service, but they take to other practices. Yeah, we see also there are some times we see there are Mayavad or impersonalists. They also worship Narasimha Dev. They also take the name of Lord Narasimha. Why? For protection. They don't accept him as the supreme, but they accept him a Lord. Yeah, definitely he's a Lord. They also take to chanting the Hare Krishna. That is all fine, but the motive is different. Their motive is to merge into Brahman effulgence. It is Sometimes it is actually seen that these Mayavadis also chant the Hare Krishna mantra, although their motive is to merge into Brahman effulgence. The yogis also at times take to chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but their purpose is different from that of bhaktas. In all processes, karma, jnana, or yoga, bhakti is required. That is the purport of this verse Prabhupada is mentioning. श्रेयसाम अपि सर्वेषाम आत्मा ही अवधिर अर्थता सर्वेषाम अपि भूतानां हरिर आत्मा आत्मा the priya. Factually, the Supreme Lord is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The goal is what that. Uh, Otherwise, we may be just in the cycle of birth and death. Like Brahmaji is there. What is his? Uh, um, is the most intelligent person of this universe. Still, he has what do you call DOB and DOD. Uh, and yeah, so it's very important to understand all what we do should streamline to this one goal. Yatha taror, this is the verse I'll take and stop. We'll take it for 15 next session. Mm. And this you also would have come across, and Prabhupada also quoted very often, because we are in a world where we are not able to appreciate one person as supreme and not able to accept it. That's why we think, oh, let's worship so many. But this Narad Muni, who is Devarshi, come on, are we Devarshis to create our own ways of worship? No, we don't. Uh, we see what Narad Muni is saying. यथा तरोर्मूल निषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तद स्कंद भुजोपशाखः प्राणोपहारश्च यथेन्द्रियाणां तथैव सर्वाहं नम अच्युतेज्य. As pouring water on the root of a tree energizes the trunks, Bhuja, Skanda, Bhuja, Shaka. Trunk, Bhuja, branches, Shaka, twigs, and everything. And as supplying food, Pranopa, Harach, the ahar that we provide. Upa, what is it? Upaharat, by feeding. Yeah, upaharat, by feeding, the indriyas are satisfied, isn't it? Huh? What is happening? Simply supplying food to the stomach enlivens the senses and limbs of the body, and then simply worshipping the Supreme Lord through devotional service automatically satisfies the demigods who are part and parts. Here, Tathaiva, Sarvahanam. Sarvahanam, Arhanam is worshipping Sarvahanam. Tathaeva Sarvahanam. Then what is happening? Achyutebjaha. Uh, um, will satisfy all the demigods who are part and parcel of that supreme personality of Godhead. Sometimes people, and purport, Prabhupada mentioned, sometimes people ask why this Krishna consciousness movement simply advocates worship of Krishna hmm, to the exclusion of the demigods. The answer is given in this verse. The example of pouring water on the root of a tree is very appropriate in Bhagavad Gita 15:1. Urdhva Mula Adha Shakam. This cosmic manifestation has expanded downward, and the root is the supreme personality of Godhead. As the Lord confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Krishna is the root of everything. Therefore, rendering service to the Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna, which is Krishna Seva, means automatically serving all the demigods. Sometimes it is argued that karma and jnana requires a mixture of bhakti in order to successfully execute. And sometimes it is argued that bhakti also requires karma and jnana for its successful termination. The fact is, however, that although karma and jnana cannot be successful without bhakti, bhakti does not require the help of karma and jnana. Actually, it is described by Rupa Goswami, Anyabhilashita Sunyam. If one engages Anyabhilashita Sunyam, jnana karma adi anavritam. It should be free from even karma and jnana, so we don't even need them. Modern society is involved in various type of philanthropic works, humanitarian works, and so on. But people do not know that these activities will never be successful unless Krishna, the Lord, is brought into the center. One may ask what harm there is in worshipping Krishna and the different parts of his body, the demigods, and the answer is also given in this verse. The point is that by supplying food to the stomach, the indriyas are automatically satisfied. If one tries to feed his eyes or ears independently, the result is only havoc. Simply by supplying food to the stomach, we satisfy all of the senses. It is neither necessary nor feasible to render separate service to the individual senses. Huh? The conclusion is that by serving Krishna, Krishna Seva, everything is complete. As confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Krita Haya. If one is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, the Supreme Person of Godhead, everything is automatically accomplished. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, how did you find? Do you find something interesting that you want to share? You have any questions that you want to ask? Any comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes,
Mhm.
Prabhuji, very nice, enlightening. Prabhuji, about this bhakti is what the devotion is required for all other things are useless if devotion is not there. But if so, this austerity and spiritual practices, if one does not have devotion and one tries to get devotion through these processes, tapasya and
Mhm.
all other things,
Hmm.
it
They will also go so soon. Whatever will come will go when there is no this right understanding and blessings. So what happens is one may do all the austerities, but if they do not know why, it's only sentiment. And when there is only sentiment, yeah, you may think, okay, yeah, do I really need to do it? When the time of test comes, then you may give it up because you are really tested to to check your own um um ways of life. Yeah, so there is always Durga Devi is ensuring that are we really seriously practicing or understanding that the Lord is supreme and we engage in the service. So tapasya can be quite dragging, right? So fasting for me is very, very, very difficult. I'm not an expert in austerities. Yeah, I feel, oh my God, if I don't eat properly, then I can't focus on my work. I can't focus in Krishna. I can't focus in my services. So better you do that and not fast.
But Prabhuji, if one has no clear idea of Supreme Personality of Godhead
Mm-hmm.
and love to Him,
Yeah.
and still if one does some service, for example, sweeping cleaning the temple or
Mm-hmm.
these activities,
Again,
uh,
I will interrupt here because one will not just do anything unless he really knows what is that he's getting. Because if he's engaging in such service, yeah, he would definitely know how, okay, something I would like to do. And in that, there is an expectation of, yeah, for example, when you take about sweeping, right? Yeah, you understand how a temple should be kept very clean. That's why you are engaging in that service.
mhm. So that is enough that level, or
Yeah, that starts from that. That is what, yeah, you may have also heard where Prabhupada is mentioning that Narad Muni is also saying that one need not to have jnana and what is that? Yeah, yoga. Yeah? So we may not take that, oh, these are the things through which one can attain bhakti. Or these can help to certain extent or needed also. Otherwise, why are we speaking now? Yeah, this gyan, knowledge, yeah. Why are all the Pracetas, the Pracetas or others who go and knowledge has its role. But once one comes to the point that everything is for the service of the Lord. So one should and then he gets into bhakti. He is on the in the process, whatever knowledge he has got. He's not like a spontaneous love. Oh, that is quite far, very, very far stage, later stages. But one is using the jnana. Yeah? We are not undermining the role of jnana to play or yoga, which means focusing on the Lord to play. Both help us to attain bhakti. But definitely, when Krishna favors a devotee with bhakti, then these things are not important because Krishna is inspiring from within. Whatever the jnana needs to come, that his activities are uh, um, directed by the Lord, and because of that, he would practice bhakti knowingly or unknowingly, doesn't matter.
mhm. So Prabhuji, one should strive to get gyan or not?
One should when you're saying striving to get gyan is for us at the moment jnana is required, as Patanjali in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali is mentioning if one want to attain samadhi, we need all those things. Yeah, we need to practice rigid lifestyle. We need to be very disciplined. We need to do all ABC, whatever is required. But once one is in samadhi, he doesn't need all those things. Why? Because in samadhi, one is in a forgetful stage where he doesn't identify himself at all. He is only absorbed. Of course, Patanjali Yoga Sutra can be taken as that one is merging in Brahma Jyoti or yeah, whatever. But the point is that when one is worshipping the Lord, then he is completely absorbed that his identity is no more independent, but is part and parcel of the Lord. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, Prabhuji. So that is also gyan, that to know.
Gyan is needed. Yeah, it's not that one comes to a program and if he's just sitting in the katha, sorry, in the kirtan, yeah, because here he is hearing and hearing the holy name will purify and all. This purification is there, but the mind is still so gross that it still need a reason why to really accept this. The name of the Lord can transform. Otherwise, the mind will always say, though you are transformed, na, the mind will always say, hey, you are not transformed. Just like a person who is affected by jaundice, he cannot see things. What is it called? Yellow fever. His eyes, he can't see everything clear. It's yellow, and his tasting sugar candy is bitter. All these things are there. It's not that those things have changed. It's the vision is changed. That vision effect is because of the mind.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Nice question. Others? Satish Prabhu, what's your takeaway?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you Prabhuji for this nice session. I think the way, this theme seems to be common in all the kathas, Prabhuji, even in yesterday's Chitraketu's katha. And when here, after the necessary, worldly activities are done, I think people give up, sadhus give up and they again start seeking wisdom. And Narada Muni always comes to the rescue wherever he is.
Mm.
It's very nice, Prabhuji. So, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Detachment from attachment, I think it's it's very, very difficult aspect to do, but I see this as a common theme in all the kathas. So,
Yeah. Here, there's also a very important message. Also, yeah. I mean, we understand that Pracetas, after having darshan of the Lord, when Lord blessed, it's not that Pracetas didn't just straight away go. Yeah, they also had to marry uh, Marisha and beget a child. Rule. So there is also this. It's not that okay, one can just now from this stage, yeah, yeah, because they have a service, isn't it? Huh?
yes, Rosie.
Because Prachina Parishad was giving that service of managing, being a Kshatriya, they have to do it. And yeah, and also ensure the safety of their wife. This is very important. Uh, and what they did, they themselves have successfully engaged in devotional service. They have begotten a child who is perfect, Daksha expert, and then they moved on. Usually, sometimes we may take a shortcut, and a shortcut can bite us. This is what I found also when reading this. One may think, okay, now I have developed devotion. Now, should I really go into this mm, family household? Why can't I just become a renunciant of everything? I think um, it's not so easy. It's not going to be so easy to get the realizations that one may get in a grahastha life. And uh, one, I remember even Prabhupada mentioning and my Guru Maharaj mentioning, one should not be hanging around in no man's land. I mean, of course, they didn't say same words. The purport of that is one should not be a freestyle devotee. One should be in one of these ashrams. What is that? Either brahmacharya ashram, grahastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, and sannyas ashram. And why? Because every ashram has the potency to bring the spirit of detachment. And of course, in what is it called? In Grihastha ashram, uh, it is intense. One may think it's only Brahmacharya ashram is very intense or Sannyasi ashram is very intense. People forget maybe what is Vanaprastha ashram, but Grihastha ashram also, this is very intense. Yeah, because when people have to live together at the same time, everyone is unique in their own way. Everyone want to win over each other. So to lead a grahastha life is a opportunity to really purify ourselves. Yeah, sometimes the it becomes so intense we may want to escape, but escaping is not the way. Rather, one has to live together and make it together so that um, one is not uh, skipping. Uh, one do not have a chance to skip over unless one is completely free from all attachments of life, not attachment of wife or the partner. I don't know. I don't know. Something I think that also we can see here that Prachetas didn't just straight away go into that. Uh, they took to this process and they purified whatever they have and then took up. Yeah. And in Krishna consciousness, especially in the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, we see that, yeah, not only Gaudiya Vaishnava, we can see also in Sri Sampradaya, we can see in Kumara Sampradaya, every ashram, yeah, we can see that they are trained right from childhood how to engage in the service of the Lord, whether he's a brahmachari, whether he's a grihastha or vanaprastha, all the time engage in the service of the Lord. So when we do that, we don't really see, oh, Grihasthashram is such a dangerous world, or is what is that? Prahlad Maharaj said, Andakupam. Oh, let me not get in. No, if we don't get in, then we don't know how we don't be inspired how to get out of it, because we think, okay, there is always a safe ground. Let me use that safe ground. It is like people who are afraid of something, they always want to be away from it. No, if we are away from it, we can't learn. No? Uh, this sense of fear made us discover, or what do you call it, discover or invent? Invent so many things. If that sense is not there, then we wouldn't do it, we just sit. So that's why we should take support. Sarva Upadhi Vinirmuktam. Yeah, this is nice. We will not identify ourselves with so many things, but we identify to which ashram we belong to, because this Lord has created. And until we come to a platform where all these are also barriers to engage ourselves in service, we take support of that. When I'm saying one day we find it's challenging, that's why we give up the ashram. But I like to enjoy attachment, affection, care, and all. So again, I go back to the one of these ashramas. No, that's not the right uh, way.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Okay.
Prabhuji, I think, staying in line with any one of the ashram, that person you're learning from, Prabhuji, I think that's a very nice point, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and also we see, I mean, why this came is actually that here we see that Prachetas have uh, given protection to their wife. One may think I am giving protection financially, that may not help. The important thing is, care, the protection, and make sure that both advance spiritually, support each other. Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Okay. Other thoughts? I don't know why did I ask Satish Prabhu? Because he was also one of the very interesting aspirants to have Katha today, in spite of very intense Bhagavad Sapta. So that's why I thought, okay, to check. And also Ratikeli Mataji, was it satisfying?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Firstly, it is thank you, and yeah, it continues. You don't feel you have to do only that month.
Mm.
So it keeps that we have to do it regularly.
Mm.
And yeah, like the takeaways, yeah, we have to be in that ashram and then appropriately behave when you are according to your age, and um, accept.
Mm.
Acceptance is more important and not fall into attachments.
Mm. Yeah, when you said that, I understood that, okay, yeah, we should also mature. It's not that, okay, we are in that ashram and we don't be serious. We
Yeah.
also mature in that ashram. The purpose of the ashram is to be renunciant. Yeah. So what is that? Means is not to get attached to it, but actually maturity means to really understand um, the sense of duty and focus on the main purpose is to keep
Yeah.
Krishna in the center. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And right now, if you think like this, you feel okay because the age and being in this yoga,
Hmm.
the age gaps are also like the ranges are decreasing. So the ashramas, though they have the same, like 50, you have to be,
Yeah,
so
Vanaprastha.
yeah, vanaprastha. But then due to the age factor and the many things happening around, you have to really work fast and be more aware alert.
Yeah, one day me and Ram Raghav Prabhu were discussing almost for an hour about futures in 50s. So
Yeah,
yeah, we should have an eye on that. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you very much. Final thoughts, questions? Otherwise, we close. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nirandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Bola?
Bol. Prabhuji, he tried. Bol. Yeah. Now he doesn't want to.
Hare Krishna.
Hare